Good morning. This is call number 2019-71062. In the interest of Ian Alvarado, all parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands and unmute yourselves. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
My name is Megan Garza, and Ian Alvarado is my son.
All right, and representing the mother? You need to unmute yourself, ma'am.
So sorry. Heather Villalobos, attorney for Megan Garza.
All right, and representing the state of Texas?
Vida Sharma.
We have a non-custodial parent, Alonso Alvarado Jr. is not present. It appears that he was personally served on April 19, 2021 at 8:49 a.m. at 13018 Chestnut Stream Trail in Houston, Harris County, Texas. And he has not filed an answer, made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor.
He was given, he was further notified of this Zoom hearing by certified mail, return receipt requested, which was delivered on January 7th, 2022, and he has not checked in this morning. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
We'll proceed by default.
Yes, Judge. Before we proceed, I would like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the prior child support review order suit affecting the parent-child relationship that was signed on September 30th, 2019. Judge, this order set child support at $200 and medical support at $50, and we are here for a modification because there's been a substantial change in circumstances and more than 20% in income since that order.
All right, the court will take note of that order.
Yes, Judge. I would like to call Ms. Garza. Ms. Garza, please unmute and state your name for the court.
What was that?
Please state your full name for the court.
Megan Nicole Garza.
And how many children are we here for today?
1.
And how is the child covered under health insurance?
He is on Medicaid.
And you understand and agree to maintain that health insurance for your child?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to order Mr. Alvarado to reimburse that at $100 a month?
Yes, I am.
And are you asking the court or telling the court that you agree to cover half of any uncovered health insurance for the child?
Yes, I am.
And are you asking the court to order child support set at $455 starting March 1?
Yes, I am.
And are you asking the court to confirm the prior child support judgment of $96.49 and order Mr. Alvarado to pay that at $50 a month beginning March 1?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to confirm the judgment for the medical support in $307 and order Mr. Alvarado to pay that at $30 a month, also beginning March 1?
Yes.
And if court costs should be billed, who should pay those?
Alonso Alvarado.
Thank you, Judge. I pass this witness.
All right, Ms. Villalobos, you have any questions for your client?
I have nothing further.
And what are we basing the child support amount on, Ms. Sharma? I think we need to get into that.
Yes, Judge, there's been an increase in wages since 2019. After this order was signed, Mr. Alvarado's wages have increased let me pull up the order to get the exact amount, Judge. I'm sorry. His net resources, gross monthly resources now are $3,177. And in the prior order, they were based on, sorry, Judge.
Well, I'm more concerned with this order. So the net resources are what, and what percentage are we using?
Judge, we're using 17.50% because Mr. Alvarado does have another child that we're giving him credit for in this order.
All right. All right, the court will approve the order submitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
right, we're here on cause number 2011-07885 in the interest of Damon Lopez Barraza. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. Please, you solemnly swear to tell and unmute yourselves, please. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Yasmin Hurtado, on Damien's mom.
Sir, your name and your relationship to the child. Sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
Joel Lopez, I am the father of the child.
We have a Michael Hampton. Are you involved in this case, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Michael William Hanton, and I represent the respondent Joel Lopez Barraza.
Okay. And representing the Attorney General's office.
Luis Regla.
Okay, this is a suit for modification
Yes, Judge, correct.
of child support order. We're having a hearing, is that correct, Mr. Regla?
Correct, Judge.
And do we have any stipulations?
I think just about the only thing they agreed on was that Medicaid was in place in the last court order, and that should continue today in this court order. Would you agree with that, counsel?
Medicaid, well, yeah, sure, I'll stipulate to that.
And Ms. Hurtado, would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's about it, Judge.
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, so basically the issue then here is an increase or a decrease in the child support that's
Correct.
currently.
Correct, Judge.
All right.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, let me pull up the old, when was the old child support
Yeah.
order? June 8th, 2011?
Yes, Judge, and it included a deviation from guidelines on page 11. If the court would just take notice of that.
All right, let me see.
Yes, Judge.
All right, the guideline findings back then had net resources of the non-custodial parent in the amount of $1,089.17.
Yes, Judge. And back then, the father only had one child living in his home, apart from the one child that's in this case.
Okay.
And what date was that?
June 8th, 2011, counsel.
Okay, thank you. And then since then, the latest
Yes, that's the only one.
is the one on May 4th, 2021.
The suit to modify, yes, correct. It was the May
Okay.
4th, 2021
That's
AG
what-
modification.
Okay.
And that's what started our modification that we have for today.
All right, let's proceed.
Okay, thank you, Judge. May I call the witnesses?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Hurtado, I'll begin with you. One more time, what is your full name, please?
Yasmin 80 Hurtado.
Okay, and what kind of health insurance does your child have today?
He has Medicaid, Texas Children's Medicaid.
Okay, and as we already stated to the court, we're agreeing to stipulate that Medicaid will continue as a coverage for this child. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so today, you're requesting a upward modification of child support, is that right?
Correct.
What,
I'm going to object. Ms. Hurtado has no pleadings on file. Only the Attorney General has a pleadings on file, and the Attorney General has didn't say whether up or down, just a general modification stating that the situation of the child since the prior order has materially and substantially changed, and the current support differs by more than 20% or $100. And that's it.
Mr. Regla?
Judge, I'll rephrase the question.
All right.
What has the father told you about what kind of work he does?
He does a remodeling construction, and we've been having communication over the past
Okay,
couple months.
ma'am, let me stop you.
Ma'am.
You have to,
Ma'am, you just
Sorry,
need to
Judge.
answer the
Construction
question.
remodeling.
Okay?
okay, thank
Okay,
you,
construction
Judge.
remodeling.
When did he tell you that?
Over the past couple of months since we started communication, he said that he was always working 6-7 days a week.
You have to answer on the, I'm sorry, focus on the question that I'm asking. You only answer what I'm
Okay.
asking, okay?
Mhm.
How many days a week did the father tell you he works?
6 to 7 days.
How many hours a day did the father tell you he works?
He said at least 12 to 15.
Hours per day?
Yes, he would make comments that early 5, 6 in the morning till sometimes after midnight before he got home.
How do you know it was after midnight he would get home?
That's what he said to me.
What time of days would he call you when he spoke to you about his work?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What time of day would he call you when he would speak to you about his type of work?
Either I would call him in the morning, during lunch, or after my work, and he was always at work.
Oh, so what time of day does he call you back typically?
Normally he would answer. He would work while he was talking to me. So 7 in the morning, 11, 12 at noon, or 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Judge, as to non-responsive, this line of questioning, indeed, the response assumes facts not in evidence. What the witness is trying to do is establish what time Mr. Barasa comes home, and she'd have no idea.
Then,
Can I respond to
Ma'am.
that?
no, ma'am.
Okay.
Are we at this point going to be speculating on how much he makes, Mr. Regla?
We are, Judge, yes.
I mean,
Apart from the
Were
father's
doc-
testimony.
were documents not produced that were requested? Income tax
Counsel-
returns, et cetera,
Mm.
counsel?
Counsel has
They-
those.
They were
Mhm.
produced, Your Honor. We have Mr. Lopez Baraza's his latest income tax return. We have his bank account for the past year showing how much he makes. Both of those what is redacted is his wife's income, but if I may, okay, the participant screen is disabled. I was wanting to show his income tax return and also his bank account reflecting how much he makes.
All right. Well, Mr. Regla, are we saying that you're not basing the child support on the returns and the bank accounts, et cetera? Or do you have access to all that, Mr. Regla?
The attorney did screen share with me before we switched over to the hearing to look at those documents. And so those were documents I would be asking the father about when I switch to him next.
Well,
I'm about done with the mother though, Judge.
but you haven't had an opportunity to examine the documents that were produced.
I did, Judge.
Okay, all right. Then go ahead.
Yes, Judge. Ma'am, and back when the last court order was done, at that point in time, the father only had one child living in his home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and as far as you know, that situation is different today, is that right?
Yes.
And Judge, I'll pass the witness at this time.
Right, Mr. Hampton.
I have no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Call your next witness, Mr. Regla.
Yes, Judge, I'll call the father now. And sir, what is your full name, please?
Joel Jonathan Lopez Barraza,
Okay, what kind of work do you do today?
handyman.
And as part of handyman duties, what are some typical things you would do in your workday?
Sometimes I paint, sometimes I switch some fans, some lights, pick up things around the houses, garbage, stuff like that, haul them out to the road.
And how do you find work? How do you advertise your services?
I don't, just people help me out in the sense of, you know, when they hear that somebody needs something and tries to do it a little bit cheaper than hiring a big business, they call me.
Now, when you work in an average month, what do you think your ballpark income is before your expenses?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. In a typical month, what is your gross income before expenses?
Annually or monthly or weekly?
Monthly.
Or
Monthly.
monthly. It ranges. You know, there's months that I can make $1,000. There's months that I make $2,000. It just ranges. So I couldn't be very specific with when in that order to detail.
Okay, now let's talk about your expenses. Or rather, let me rephrase that. How do you report your income?
I get paid in checks. All of that goes into my bank account, which I present to the accountant that does all of our taxes, and she handles the rest.
Okay, and from there, what kind of expenses do you have in your home? Like mortgage, rent, utilities? What kind of things do you specifically pay for in your home?
I pay for rent. I pay for electrical because I do use a lot of the light here. I actually also have here, have a list of what I use. So I pay utilities. I help with food. I help with insurance.
Okay, let's talk about those. You said rent, or how much do you contribute to the monthly rent or mortgage or no?
800.
Okay. And utilities, you said that includes like electricity and things like that. How much would you say
Yeah,
you pay per month from those?
around $80 to $100, give or take, depending on how it goes with me on the month.
Okay. You said insurance. How much would you say you pay for insurance?
For insurance, I pay about $30.
Okay. And is that to insure a vehicle, or what is it to insure?
Your
Yeah.
Honor, excuse me, I'm going to object as to ambiguity. What I would ask is more specificity with the question. Does this include what Mr. Lopez Barraza's share, or including his wife's share? I'm confused.
I believe he posed the question, though, his contribution to the rent, his contribution to the electric company.
I just want to make sure the witness understands that it's only what he pays and not what is.
Well, you'll have an opportunity to question him, sir. Your objection is overruled.
Okay. And going back, sir, you said $30 for insurance. What does that insure?
It insures car, which doesn't really help out much, but it's what I can afford.
Okay. What vehicle do you drive?
I have a pickup truck.
Okay. Is there a note on the pickup truck, or you own it outright?
No, I own it outright.
Okay. So there's no monthly payment?
No, sir.
Okay. What other monthly expenses do you specifically pay for?
Gas, food, haircuts for my kids and myself.
Okay. What would those amounts add up to Your best estimate.
Haircuts are about $60 a month. Gas, it used to be around 250, but with prices going up in gas here, we have almost $3.75 a gallon. So probably a little bit higher than 250, around 300, I would say.
You said food. What do you think you spend on food per month?
Excuse me?
You said food. Well, how much do you think you spend on food per month?
Food, I help with what I can, but I would say around $50.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that you pay every month?
Not really. I mean, credit cards. I have a credit card under me, which is what I use. That's what I use to pay for everything. But I'll probably say $30 a month that I pay for it.
Okay. And how many children do you have living in your home now?
2.
And this handyman work, is that your only source of income?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Judge, I pass this one.
Mr. Hampton, do you have any questions for your client?
I do, Your Honor. How old are you, Mr. Lopez?
I'm 31.
Relevance, Judge.
What is the relevance, Mr. Hampton?
Okay, I just wanted just some background information, some predicate information, that's all. Okay, I
All
can, what is your address, Mr. Lopez?
My physical address is 1091 27th Street, Southwest, Naples, Florida, 34117.
Okay, and who lives with you?
My wife and my 2 kids.
Okay, and when you say your 2 children, you mean that these are your children with your current wife, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And you have just one other child, and that is with the counter respondent, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, we've gone over your work, and you're not employed in any other capacity?
No, sir.
Okay. And are you asking the court to set an appropriate amount of child support in conformity with Texas guideline support?
Judge,
Yes,
objection. The party has no petition on file. Just like counsel
Well,
objected earlier.
well, I'll overrule that objection. I'm sure we're all aiming for the same outcome here, at least in terms of whether this is going to be modified or not. So I'll overrule.
Okay. Okay, you can answer the question, Mr. Lopez. I'll repeat it. Are you asking the court to set child support as an appropriate amount with Texas guideline child support?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that would be in the best interest of your children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm gonna show you a document, and I'm gonna ask you if you could identify that document. Can everyone see this document?
No.
No.
No, I hope I can't see it because it's not being introduced into evidence at this time. I think
Well, I know. I just want to make sure if it's that everyone can see it.
And I'll object to a hearsay statement, Judge.
Well, I don't know what he's trying to, I assume you're gonna try to admit something into evidence. I don't know what it is yet.
Sir,
And
I'm
he
only on
has-
the
Yeah, I'm
telephone,
gonna
Has, and
not not
try to
Zoom.
admit
the predicate
to
hasn't been laid.
but I'm not too sure how to put this document up, so until I do that, I can't offer it into evidence. And, can everyone see what I have on the screen?
No.
Sir.
Okay, then I'm having a technical issue here, Judge. Okay, I'm not too sure how I'm gonna submit this. I would like to submit this bank statement as an exhibit.
And Judge, I'll repeat my objection as to hearsay statement, improper predicate. There is no business records affidavit attached to it. It was only produced today, right before court started, instead of being produced in line with discovery. And I object to it being admitted. Apart from, he also has handwritten notes on it.
I'll sustain the objection. Do you have another question for your client, Mr. Harden?
Well, Judge, I actually, Mr. Lopez,
Yes,
you
sir.
testified that can you tell the court what your average, what your net is? In other words, what is it that you bring a month?
A month, like I said, it varies. I think the most that I've made a month was around $3,600 last year, 2021. The lowest that I made was $1,000. Last year I made around, in total, around 15,500. I think a little bit half of that, or a little bit under half, came from a 1099 that I also have 2% if needed to. And the rest were just jobs that I did on my own, away from a business that sometimes gives me work.
Okay, so is it your testimony that you're making less now than you made last year?
Yes, sir. And that's all due to COVID. Since COVID started, it has been really tough to find work because not a lot of people want me in their house. You know, I'm not a big company or nothing like that. I am self-employed, and COVID has really taken a toll on my financial situation, and it's just been getting worse and worse. People now want to hire bigger companies, I guess.
Mr. Lopez, would it be fair to say that your wife is the breadwinner in your family?
Objection, form, Judge, assuming facts not evidence. And can you stop screen sharing?
Overrule.
Stop screen sharing.
I think it's a button on the bottom of the screen.
Mr. Barasa, what was the total amount that you made in fiscal year 20, I'm sorry, tax year 2021?
I made $15,485.
Okay. Did you have any other income other than that?
No, sir.
Okay. And are you asking the court to use this calculation as a basis for your child support?
Yes, sir. As I did mention before, work has been a lot harder to find and a lot harder to get, especially due to the corona. We've seen a spike lately as well. So it's a lot harder for me to get jobs.
Okay. And are you asking that your child support be adjusted retroactively to the date that this modification was filed, which is May 4th, 2021?
Can you explain the question? What do you mean retroactive?
Are you asking that if your child support is reduced in accordance to what you are currently making, according to Texas guidelines, are you asking the court that this be retroactive to the date of filing of 5/4/2021?
Yeah, I would hope that they will take what I made this in 2021 into consideration and based it off of that. It's like I said, I have not been working the whole month
Okay,
of
all
January.
right.
I stayed home.
Okay, I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Regla, can we take off whatever it is you have on the screen there, Mr. Hampton?
See if there's view options on the top of your screen. Maybe that's where you can exit from the screen share. Or on the bottom of your screen. Okay, there it goes.
There we go. That did it, yeah.
There it goes, yeah.
Your Honor, I would also, just one thing I would also ask, it's up to the court.
Or are you making a final argument here, Mr. Hampton?
I am, Judge.
Okay, well, it's not the time yet.
Okay.
Mr. Regla, do you have any further witnesses?
Judge, I don't know if the mother had any kind of questions.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Sure, I don't know if the mother had any questions.
Yes.
I know I passed and the
Okay. all
attorney
right.
passed.
Ms. Hurtado, do you have any questions for Mr. Lopez Barraza?
Yes, sir. Mr. Lopez, over the past couple of months that we've spoken, you've repeatedly told me that, you know, you were at work and you're always working. Is that true or not?
No, ma'am.
Sorry?
No, ma'am. You would call me at various hours and I was not eager to talk to you about your personal life.
No, it has nothing to do with my personal life.
No. And this is not an argument, ma'am. He answered. You asked that.
Okay.
This is a question answer.
Okay. Good. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Yes. Well, for Mr. Lopez, no. I actually have a question for you, Judge.
No,
is that
you
the
don't
time
have a
now
question
or
for
no?
me.
No?
I have no. Yeah, I'm not a witness, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, then no, sir.
All right, Mr. Hampton, do you have any further questions for your client?
I have no further questions from my client, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Regla, you have any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you resting?
Yes, Judge, I am going to rest now.
Mr. Hampton, do you have any further witnesses?
I have no further witnesses, Judge.
All right, Ms. Hurtado, do you have any witnesses that you wish to present to the court?
No, sir.
All right. I don't think we have met the burden for a modification here, so I'm going to deny the child support modification at this time.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I'll prepare the order.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Judge.
And let's see,
May we be excused?
Maria, are you there? Can we be placed into separate break rooms and I'll confirm everyone's email so I can send the draft? Okay. Council, I'll meet with you real quick and then I'll send you a copy of the
Yeah.
order.